Hey there, beautiful souls. Jess Intuitive Angel Healer here with your grounded guide to spiritually awakened survivors of the toxic shadows. Welcome to my new YouTube and podcast channel, Spoken Like an Angel Enlightenment for Survivors, where my prophetic words are meant to help stimulate so you can raise your vibe and elevate. Thank you so much for being here today. It is June 15th, 2023. Summer is fully in effect. I hope you guys are taking advantage of the beautiful weather that we're having. Some places that you guys are much warmer than where I'm at. I'm in Colorado at the moment, and the memo hasn't, got shared here. I think it's still in the spam box. It doesn't know that it is summertime and it feels like fall weather, but it's getting better and it's slowly warming up. It's just been a really gradual, slow warm up. But awesome things take time. So when it gets to be the really hot days, that's when we're all complaining, right? So we're always, we get something that we want, and then when we get it, it seems that we are never satisfied. And I'm hearing I can't get no satisfaction from the Rolling Stones. I can't get no. Yeah, I can't get no satisfaction. That's okay, because ultimately you will, and that's the message I'm going to share with you today. And, please let me know how these messages are resonating with you guys. It's going to be slow to probably start this up, but my angel messages are all about sharing the prophetic word. And it's not so much of me trying to guess the future or anything like that. I've went through different phases of doing angel messages, and now Spirit really wants me to just focus on these prophetic words. So I do this to share it with you guys because I know how it feels to be left alone and to really literally have no one there but Spirit to help you, because all the humans around you have failed you. If you have been there, please, drop some purple hearts in the comment section below. Let me know if you're on my YouTube, if you're on my podcast. Share this with someone who it might help, because this is all about healing. When I went through my spiritual awakening in 2018, I've always known, I used to see ghosts when I was a kid, so I always knew I had some kind of gift. And so it wasn't odd to me at 37 that I found out I could speak to angels and chat with them, because you know what? I didn't even learn tarot until about 3 years into my spiritual awakening, because I work with oracle cards. And the thing is when you're using these oracle cards, this is all my intuition. This is all coming off from what my intuition and my channeling of the message from Spirit. These are ultimately just cards with pictures on them, but that's how Spirit talks to me. Because, little fun fact, as before I get into this message today, because the message today is all about change and finding your self-worth, finding your authentic self. But I noticed that I, had a hard time embracing my own gifts, and because I don't do things the way that everybody normally does them. I read 13 people mediumship readings and gave them all awesome angel advice and everything, and one hater came out and said that I relied on my cards too much. So there's always going to be someone out there who's going to judge you, but it's not about worrying about getting judged. It's about doing what makes you feel comfortable and doing it the way that you feel is right for you. So stop doing things that make it feel better for everyone else out there, because it's in the end not helping you. Eventually, you're going to have to speak your truth. And that's what's going to end up changing your past. Somebody really needs to hear that out there. So, all right, I'm going to get into this. I saw this picture on Instagram. And if you guys want to follow me on my Instagram, you can click on my links and get there. Or just go check me out at Spoken Like an Angel 444 on Instagram and help me build that one up, because that's also a new account, so, or newer, and I haven't really worked on building up, so I'm trying to do that now. But anyways, I saw this picture and it's from Insightful, Insightful. So you can go to insightful.com. They're a mental health company, and they had this picture, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like it would be really healing. Because I saw 606 before. I'm gonna share this with you. That's all message of relationship with yourself, because we are always worried about fixing ourselves, and we're not doing enough work. And sometimes you get a little too intent on what you're doing and laser focused, so you don't give yourself a break and give yourself a high five for all the healing that you have done. So here's some things that they listed, how you know you're healing. You are healing if you're honest with yourself. You start celebrating those achievements. Doesn't matter how big, celebrate them. Every day should be a daily celebration of something that you did. At the end of the day, you should feel like you accomplished and you got a little bit farther. Respect your needs. Respect your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Accept yourself as you are. Take responsibility of your own actions, because in the end, it's all about accountability. And that message has been coming through very strong. God wants you to know anything can be forgiven, but you have to take accountability first. And then you have to ask for forgiveness. And then you have to actually show the actions that you are, remorseful of what you did and you are changing. And sometimes we simply don't change because it's like a little literal breakup with yourself, your personality. You go through these periods of you don't know who you are, because you knew who you were, but you can't be that anymore because it's not then. So it gets really confusing as sometimes down this path. But start reminding yourself of, hey, am I working on forgiveness of self? Am I focusing on my self growth? All of these things, give yourself a high five, because the more, it's like I always use the rainbow theory metaphor when I'm talking to clients. And so just imagine, it's Roy G. Biv, the colors of the rainbow, they all go in the same sequence all the time. So it's just like they do with the kids. What color of the rainbow are you on? Think of red is at the bottom and purple is at the top, because purple relates to spirit and red relates to your root, right? And the thing that gets you going crazy in your mind and overthinking is your fight or flight. And if you've had trauma, you get your fight or flight activated real quick, depending on how much healing you've done. The more healing that you do, the less fight or flight, the less reactive you are. And I am living proof that this can happen, but it does take a lot of work. And that gets us into our first message that Spirit shared with me, is humility. You have to go through your humility, because your humility is what makes you get to the point of being extraordinary. And peacocks are a spirit animal here. Peacocks are all about strutting your stuff. You gotta start letting your humility do its thing, because even though it hurts and it may not feel good, ultimately it's going to break down your ego, and that's how you get to the extraordinary. You got to start trusting the process. So spirit, also this message is pertaining to specifically Aquarius, um, fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, but also specifically Sagittarius. And spirit wanted is saying that if you don't learn this humility, if you don't, the lesson brings you the blessing, right? But if you don't let the humility of the lesson, learning it, if you let your ego say, I'm just never going to learn it, I'm just going to avoid all these things so it never happens again, it will happen in a different form. That's why spirit doesn't want to keep putting you on that continuous karmic cycle. And that's why people keep going through it and going through it. And you're like, man, you just can't get it. No, because they don't want to, because they don't want to accept the humility of the lesson. But I'm here to tell you, I would much rather accept that humility of the lesson to get my blessing. And I have gotten there versus sitting there in humility and just keep regurgitating it, because that's what keeps happening. Spirit, but 1111, as I'm saying this, spirit wants you to know that if you learn that lesson, you don't have to keep going through it. The only way you're going to keep repeating a lesson is if you haven't fully learned it, or if you are consciously agreeing to go through it. Okay, you made the choice to go through it. Other than that, spirit is not going to keep making you relearn the lesson if you've truly learned it. Now, you will get tested. That's the thing, is if you get tested, you can't fall apart at the test. That's what all the training was for. That's what all the separation was for. That's what all the spiritual awakening was for. Somebody really needs to hear this today. I know I'm resonating with someone out there, because this just flowed right before I was going to record. This just started flowing. Spirit's trying to help you, show you that all these sacrifices you're making is going to help reframe you to this present moment, and learn that all these things are happening for you, not to you. It's very hard to understand that in the moment of grief. Let me tell you, I am the first to admit that. But once you start letting spirit work, it'll clear away the delusions and the illusions that you have that are bounding you to toxic patterns from the past. And this is what it's gonna help. If you release control and just let things go and flow, spirit's going to become limitless, make you limitless. And I'm seeing a lot of butterflies. This is your confirmation, especially if you see pink or green butterflies, purple ones too. If you see any of those, doesn't matter where it's at, how you see them, but if they come into your reality, this is spirit reminding you that there's so much more for you if you'll just release control. Spirit wants to remind you that you're free. You're free to change your path. You've got to release this guilt, though. The time has come. You have beat yourself up for too many years. You've stayed in this grief. And, it's a personal choice, but they're just going to gently remind you, hey, if you want to heal this and let it go, we're here. We're going to let it transmute. Don't look at it how it happened before, but focus in the now. And just, what do you want now? Because at some point you get tired of replaying the same story and you just want it out. And that's where you fully come to releasing. Seeing a lot of butterflies, guys, especially if you're seeing monarch butterflies, that's your ancestors. One, that they know that you're fighting their karmic battle for them. They want you to know that they understand the grief you're going through. They're asking you to please be in the receptive mode. Stop beating up on yourself and start receiving the blessings that are meant for you. They know that they did wrong. They know they can't change it, though, but they need you to surrender right now, because sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hardest, to stop trying to control the whole universe. If you've been seeing blue jays, that's very significant message for you. Spirit is sending you a lot of divine signs to let you know that you're in the flow. You may not know exactly what they mean, but you can usually tell if they're a negative or a positive. But even a negative message that comes across isn't usually negative. It's about more of a warning. But a lot of us who are not healed end up taking that warning personally, and then our egos jump in there, and then they don't want to hear the message. They just want to take, oh, spirit's beating up on me. No, they're just trying to show you something different. Spirit will never yell at you like your parents have yelled at you. They will never be mean to you. They're simply coming here. They know how hard the lessons here on earth, because let me tell you, if they were so easy, when our ancestors have already cleared all this up? Yeah, they haven't though, because they're not that easy. So give yourself a little credit today, and know your self-worth. Know that you've been through a long journey, and you're about at the end of the rainbow. You're about to find your pot of gold, but don't give up, okay? Because that's just the enemy, that's the that's the darkness, that's devil, whatever you want to call it. That is somebody trying to make you not get your blessings. And I'm sorry, I've went through too much in my life, 1555 as I say that, to not get my blessings at this point. I made it. I should have died a few times, and I'm still here, still standing up for the underdog, still a voice for the voiceless. And I'm going to continue to do that, because my parents didn't leave the legacy that I want and proud of for my daughter. So I'm going to change that, and I already have been changing that, and she's going to leave an even better legacy. So it's like a domino effect, guys. Nothing is ever lost just because you don't maybe physically see it with your eyes in the moment when you want it. Every good deed, every good energy that you put out, because you got to give to receive. So it's important to give, and you don't have to give money. You can give time, you can give effort, you can give a compliment. There's a lot of things that you can give. Flowers, freshly picked flowers. You can make a gift. There's so many things that you can do, but just giving somebody your time and maybe an ear to listen to. Most people just need a little validation out here. Spirit is showing me that, especially with the Sagittarius and fire signs here, so it's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, but a lot on Sagittarius. I'm hearing stop fighting. Stop fighting what ultimately, stop fighting your destiny. You're not thinking clearly, you're thinking in the past. You need to start looking forward. Lay your burdens down. I'm hearing you need to start laying your burdens down and start trusting. And if people have hurt you out there, spirit understands that. And I'm hearing, I'm as cold as ice. I'm willing to sacrifice our love. You got to lay those burdens down. Stop putting yourself in this prison, okay? Release yourself from this prison and stop engaging in things that bring you conflict. Spirit really wants you to know there's a deepening of your soul happening right now. If you have a black cat, or you have affinity to black cats, or maybe you're scared of them, they're part of your lineage, look it up. I'm seeing 1818. Once you're on earth for long enough lifetimes, your old soul will begin to long for non-grasping detachment and surrender. They bring the peace of God. I love that. That's beautiful. So let me know how this message resonates with you. I'm seeing a tiger, and again, Katy Perry, Eye of the Tiger. I got the eye of the tiger, a fighter. Dance through the fire, 'cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Yeah. Somebody needed to hear that. I know I'm a karaoke singer, so please don't knock me points for singing. Keep going on your path. Break the chains so you can have freedom. Let everything that wants to go. You're going through this energetic clearing. Stop holding on to stuff. That's where the surrender comes on, because whatever is meant to be will be with you. Some things just come into your life to teach you a lesson, and then it's out. Some things are meant to be the blessing, but you're not going to get that blessing until you're ready. Okay, so you got to go through these lessons, but I promise it's like that's the gift of going through the lessons. Not only do you elevate your soul and start doing better in life and start living in your purpose and aligning with your purpose, you actually clear out all this stuff so you don't have to repetitively keep living it. That's why all you hear people say, I'm tired. My soul's tired. Yes, we're tired of, it's like we feel dense because we keep repeating these same things, but don't feel that way, because when other people are manipulating your energy, that's why it's good to clear and go out in nature and do egg cleanses and stuff like that. Clear out this negative energy, especially if you got people that are just like sending over hate bombs. Thoughts are things, and even if somebody's just in there, that's why you don't tell everybody all your stuff, because they'll hate on you, and your haters usually sit closest to you. Okay, the ones that are jealous of you and watch you and try to copy you are sitting right at your table right now calling you bestie. So it's a fine line of what are you going to tolerate and what are you going to surrender and let your angels take care of, because your ego is the thing that's making you fight all these battles. You are supposed to expand your soul, and you do that by giving forgiveness, but stop worrying about giving forgiveness to other people first. Forgive yourself first, okay? Because it's not your fault, first of all, especially if you're a victim. Please, it's not your fault, okay? Because adults, especially if you're a child victim, because adults know better, and I don't care. I don't care what's happened to you. That's a test, okay? Because yes, you can keep doing the same repetitive cycle, but if I'm breaking karmic cycles, that's because I was presented with the same thing, but I chose to do something different. That's how you're breaking a generational curse. Somebody really needs to hear that. So you stop beating up on yourself, because it was not your fault. You came out here to be God's angel, okay? And they treated God's angel not right. And that's okay, because you came out here to be the bearer of karma. You are also walking, talking karma for those that don't treat you right. You are also going to create tower moments for people. Don't feel bad though when you do it, because you know what? Everybody's got a choice, and they chose to pray and ask for divine intervention. You showed up in their life, and they took way advantage of that. That is not something you do to the divine. If God showed up in your house right now, would you think about the way that I see 2224, the way that you can steal from him? No, you'd be like, it's God, what do I do? What do we talk about? You would go into this whole different mindset. So start treating people that are around you the same, because you never know. Angels work through people, so you never know which human today you might bump into that is an actual walking, talking divine being. Okay, some of us are earth angels, some people are actually angels, that the angels are using that as their way of helping you, bless you. There's a whole thing to this. Bottom line is surrender, and do something to clear out your energy, clear out your mind, whether it's sunbathing, going to the beach. The weekend's coming up. Today's Thursday. Get ready, get mentally prepared. Stop getting off of work and saying, I'm so happy I'm off of work, and then going through that cycle again. Actually get up and go to a job that makes you happy, or start the process of it. It's all about starting the process. If you start it, I'm hearing, we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. That's fun. But you know what? You got to stand up. You got to be a vigilante. You got to stand up for your rights. There's a right and a wrong way to do things. But sitting there just repetitively doing them, hoping for change, is not going to do it. You can't change it all at once, but you can change it little by little. I really hope this message is resonating. This really touched my heart today, because some of it I do resonate with, and I'm like, wow. I really like doing what I do. It's amazing. And I'm hearing Leo. There's a sun. Okay, so the sun will come out tomorrow. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for sharing, liking, and subscribing to this. Watch for divine signs. know your worth. And so here are the names: Julio, Julian, Sarah, Mindy, James, Terrell, Phoebe, Shanna, Feliciano, Larry, Felicia, May, and Mabel. So thank you, beautiful souls, for tuning in. I love you so much, and thank you so much for supporting me. If you're on my podcast side, definitely leave a voice message. You can click on the link, or just go chat with me on my Instagram. Hope to talk to you soon. Love and light, beautiful souls.